Hey Insurance, this is Tony Cañas, Chief Motivational Officer at Insurance Nerds and Insurtech Client Advisor at the Jacobson Group. Lately, I've been getting a lot of chat with Tony calls from experienced insurance pros who are flirting with the idea of going to Insurtech. I made a video about this a while back, which I'll link here, but I've never made that move myself. I've spent my entire career on the traditional side of insurance. This week, my friend Justin Suttmiller posted on Twitter and on LinkedIn about his experience going from Nationwide and Farmers to the Columbus, Ohio-based Insurtech Coterie. Justin gave me his permission to make a video about his post, so here we go, with some commentary from me. Number 1, the mental math is hard. Risk versus reward, safe versus risky, base salary now, consistent annual bonus, single-digit raises versus options, acquisitions, IPOs. This very much tracks kind of what I talked about on my video, which is it's all about balancing the stability of your traditional carrier side role with the excitement and potential of the Insurtech side. Focus on the team and a segment of the industry with 3 to 5 year tailwind. It's very interesting. So from Justin's perspective, it's not so much about what the opportunity is at that company. It's more about how much do you believe in the team. So that's super, 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 super interesting. Number 2, walking out the door is scary. If you are an A or B performer at a big carrier, the chances that you will find yourself out of a job are slim to none. I would agree with this completely. And not only do I agree with this, but my advice basically is check your parachute. If you've got enough experience in the carrier side, maybe a few years of underwriting experience and a CPCU, something like that, if your parachute is in good place and your network is in good place, you can always find the way back to a traditional carrier job. Number 3, be ready for your opinion to be the answer. When you find yourself on a small, nimble team that needs an answer or a solution, thinking out loud can result in your thoughts becoming the final answer. This is super, super, super interesting also. Basically, I think what he's saying is that in a traditional carrier role, you are used to your opinion being an opinion and being part of many opinions, and then a decision being made either above you in the very hierarchical decision-making of a carrier or being made by committee. At an Insurtech, just giving your opinion might turn or can easily turn into them saying, yes, let's go with it. And that can be a scary situation. Number 4, you'll find out what you don't know or have taken for granted very fast. This is, again, interesting. What I think he's saying is that in a much smaller team, where before you were able to rely on the knowledge of a whole bunch of different departments and people, in an Insurtech, there might not be all those things, and you might quickly realize what you don't know. Take it for granted very fast. Big teams and whole departments and legacy carriers play important roles, might be dated, but have been built over decades. Stuff like licensing, billing, filings, document services, mailing, etc. Again, comes down to there are things that you have in the carrier space that you've taken for granted, and all of a sudden you get to a new company, you might not have those. You might have to rebuild them. You might have to depend on technology to get those things done. 5, be prepared to question everything, especially yourself. If you aren't ready to unlearn some things and admit that you are wrong a lot, you might not be ready. I try to arrive at the best answer I can, but I examine my answer assuming that I'm only right 51% of the time. So great lessons on humbleness here. Number 6, the emotional roller coaster. There is no way to explain to someone who hasn't experienced it. I personally am not trying to stop the highs and the lows from happening. I'm learning to be comfortable with it, finding ways to speed up the lows and harness them for good. Number 7, the network and the experience. There is simply no way you can make the connections and gain the experience across the spectrum of insurance that you gain from being an early startup team member. From agents to reinsurers, from claim reps to regulators. This is super cool, and this makes a lot of sense. You're as much more a company where if you're part of an insurance leadership team of only a few people, you're going to be involved in a much broader set of things than in a traditional carrier leadership role. Number 8, if the personal risk reward and finance math is hard, the P&L and VC equation, maybe decision matrix, is better. It's the 3D chess of strategic management. Play a leadership role in a company balancing this, and you will get way more than any MBA can give you. So I think what he's trying to say is yeah, you could stay on the traditional carrier side, go get an MBA and learn from academically. Becoming part of a small team at an Insurtech, you're going to learn by doing. You're going to learn by living it. You're going to be in the room that it happens. 9, disruption is bullshit. Do not trick yourself into believing that your magical solution is going to gobble up the industry. Don't even let yourself think that the current players even care. Nobody is sitting around waiting for your answer. They are thriving without you already. Again, about humbleness or being humble. Number 10, execution is key. And it's hard. Following from number 9, you can have great ideas or strategies. Someone could hand them to you, or you could steal them. If you can't deliver them to the user and modify the crap out of them on a fast feedback cycle, you're not going to make it. So overall, I think his advice is fantastic. Again, I haven't lived the life of the Insurtech startups. So if you are considering the possibility of taking your traditional carrier career into an Insurtech startup, watch my video on my thoughts on this, and then take some good time to read Justin's post and to really decide which direction you want to go. Thank you for tuning in today. I hope that this was helpful.